Hello everyone, I'm Charlie. I've never written fan fiction before. It seems like the sort of thing I would do though. And so I did a bit of research for this, and it seemed to be that you just find a fictional character that you find hot, and then just write your biggest fantasy. So the first draft of this was Han Solo gives me kittens, but it was very short, and I wouldn't be able to read it out. And then I also didn't want to be one of those ones where I put myself in it, so I thought, who do I want to be? And I thought, I'm going to be badass Peggy Carter. Who likes Agent Carter? Woo! Yeah! So, and you don't know who she is. She's often referred to as Captain America's girlfriend, but she had so much more going on before he came into her life, right? And obviously, it's World War II. I tend to dress up as historical figures a lot, so I'm going to do a little bit of historical fan fiction too. And so this, ladies and gentlemen, is Indiana Jones and the Last Waltz. February 1941, Venice. Agent Carter stepped off her gondola and slipped past the guards of the masquerade ball. Inside was a sea of ball gowns, black shirts, and brown shirts. It's World War II fan fiction. Nice of you to show up. A rugged arm curled around her waist and led her to the dance floor. She was about to kick him in the face, but then realized it was Indiana Jones. That's no way to greet your rescuer. Listen, lady, I don't need rescuing. British intelligence needs you out of here before you do something stupid. Like what? Fuck a Nazi? Yes. They waltzed towards the balcony. Dip me. Thought you'd never ask. You'd be so lucky. He dipped her dramatically in time to the music while she spun a grenade under the table. Hey, shouldn't you be wearing a mask to a ball like this? I've been undercover for 6 months. I'm always wearing a mask. Boom! They jumped out the balcony onto the waiting gondola and paddled away. All the fascists died. The next day in the London war rooms, because you can just wander into there, Commander Parker welcomed them into the map room. Good work, Agent Carter, and thank you for coming, Dr. Jones. Will any of your other Yank friends be joining us? Are you making a jibe about us Americans not being in the war? Yes. Oh. I'm afraid your transport to the US has not yet arrived. Would you mind staying in Miss Carter's care? Sounds great. What do you say, Peggy? Wanna climb Big Ben? Oh, Doctor. You should know that Ben is not the name of the tower, but the bell. Just then, Winston Churchill walked in naked. Bah! Miss Carter! Have a cigar. Indian Peggy arrived at her flat in Hampstead, which is true, she had a flat in Hampstead, in the fictional real world. Wouldn't you prefer to stay in the bunker with the Prime Minister? Oh, Parker. Oh, Indy. Parker is always insisting, but I'm an independent woman. Besides, the bombs haven't struck here yet. Just then, Agent Carter's landlady, Mrs. Thistlethwaite, appeared. Look what the cat dragged in! And you've got a man with you, you slut! I hope he's not Irish. At least he's not one of them black. Agent Carter slammed him in the room. Good night, Mrs. Thistlethwaite. Upstairs, Indy started to make himself comfortable. He sat down on the rickety old bed, almost breaking it. Whoa! This thing belongs in a museum. Getting Stratton. It's perfectly adequate, so you don't bring a lot of guys up here. It's not a good idea for someone in my position. What position would you like to be in? He unbuttoned his shirt to reveal a white cotton vest because it's 1941 and that's what he wears. Now be serious. The life of a spy must be a lonely one. She poured them both a whiskey. That and British guys are dull as shit. Can't say I'm much impressed with the American men either. Is that so? Carter knocked back her whiskey and poured another. Look, we have a long night ahead of us, and if you must stay here, we may as well get on. Sure thing. You seem to be able to take your scotch. How about a drinking game? I'm afraid I don't have any cards, only some board games. An hour and a bottle of Aberlour later, Indy rolled the dice. 1, 2, 3. Ugh, ha ha, drink. Indy slid the counter down and finished the whiskey. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Long setup for that. I must say, Dr. Jones, this is the most fun I've had since Bletchley. I was there last week. I'm glad. I like seeing you smile. He turned up the radio as it softly played The Way You Look Tonight. I do love this song. They slowly started to dance together. I hope you've not been trying to get me drunk. No, a real man doesn't do that. If anything, you got me tipsy. Is that so? Well, you've got me feeling something. He looked her in the eye, their lips moved towards each other, but then... Oh my gosh! The siren was getting louder and louder. Let's get out of here. They ran to the door, but crash! A lamppost fell through the window, trapping Peggy. Indy, get out! Not without you. He lifted her out and shielded her as plaster crumbled from the ceiling, crushing his leg. I've got you. They scrambled out of the burning flat, holding each other up. They spotted a woman and child hobbling towards the underground. They scooped them up too. And bundled towards the door just before, boom, the building collapsed. Now if I do this, well, it works! The next morning, Peggy and Indy emerged from the tube station with the other survivors. Peggy's flats and all her belongings were reduced to dust. I'm sorry, Peg. Maybe you should come back to the States with me. Thank you, but this is exactly why I have to stay and fight. Just then, they heard a groan from a pile of rubble. Mrs. Thistlетwat! Her body was completely covered except her arm except her head and an arm waving a teapot. This stupid bloody war! Why are we even in it? All these fucking refugees! Who gives a shit about what Nazis? Peggy smashed her in the face with a brick. She's at peace now. The big clock ticks at King's Cross Station and a whistle blows. All aboard! Well, Miss Carter, I better go, because you can get a train to America. You sure I can't persuade you to come with me? I'm afraid not, but thank you. I'll miss you. Indy leaned from the train door and kissed her hand. I'll miss you too. Hey, have I at least changed your mind about American guys? I think perhaps you have. The end! Woo!